Hi everyone, Bruce here at etrailer. Today we're going to install the Roadmaster Fuse Bypass Switch on our 2010 Cadillac SRX. If you are flat towing a vehicle, and this is an older vehicle, it is a 2010, we don't have a tow mode switch that's installed from the factory. So we needed to go ahead and put in some switches so we could actually put the vehicle in tow mode. So basically all this switch does is it replaces a fuse rather than going to your fuse box and having to pull fuses out before you tow. Now you can just flip a switch. So if you notice here, we do have two switches, and the reason for that is we needed to go ahead and bypass 3 fuses in our fuse box. One of these here is just for 1 fuse, and this one does 2 fuses. So in order to put it in tow mode, all we need to do is go ahead and flip both switches down to tow mode, and we're ready to tow our vehicle. When we get to our destination and we're ready to unhook from our RV, all we need to do is go ahead and put it in drive mode, and you're ready to go. Now the instructions do say a good place for those switches is to put them on the actual door to the fuse box. I opted not to do that because I'm just worried about somebody kicking those while you're driving down the road. So we went ahead and mounted them up top here to get them out of the way of the kick panel so they won't be kicked. Now, you can put those switches pretty much anywhere you want in the vehicle. All you're really going to have to do is extend the wires to the switch. Now, as far as the installation goes, it is pretty simple, but if you don't want to try it at home, check out our dealer locator on etrailer.com. But if you do want to give it a try, stick around, I'll show you how. To begin our installation, I did go ahead and move the passenger seat all the way back to give us a little bit more room. We are going to be removing some of these panels in here. So it's a pretty tight area, so giving yourself a little more room is always going to be better. So with some plastic trim tools, if you don't have any of these, we do have them here at etrailer. We're just going to go ahead and use a couple of these. The first piece we're going to pull off is this dark brown piece, and sometimes you can just reach at them and just pull them back. Sometimes they're easy, sometimes they're a little difficult. Just be careful. You don't want to pop any pins or break any pins there. Go ahead and set that aside. And then we're going to pull back on this panel here. There's probably a bolt up under here to remove to get this next section off. So again, just be careful and they'll just pop off. And there is a bolt down here, right here, that we do need to remove. I'm taking a 7mm and we're going to go ahead and get this bolt off. Now it's not going to be easy to get to. Be careful you don't drop it because it might be hard to find. So now we took this panel and just pulled it back so we really have some good access in here now. We've got this bolt out. Now we're just going to go ahead and take this panel piece off. Now this panel right here is just going to pull kind of down this way, and it's just got some clips on it. Just like that. And this is the actual panel we're going to put the switches in. But we just need to make sure our switches are going to fit up against anything that's back behind here. And that's really why the reason I removed it, just to make sure I wasn't going to drill into anything that's important. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the wires from our switch here. Now I did go ahead and mark them. You know, you want black on one side and red on the other side. But I just went ahead and marked it where they came from the factory, and I just want to put them back where they came from the factory. So we need to remove those, and then we're going to drill our hole, and then we can put our switch in the hole. You might take a pair of needle nose here. You may need to wiggle these back and forth to get those off. You can go ahead and set it down, and we're going to go ahead and drill our hole. Now, if you've got a 3/4 inch bit, that's what we recommend using. I'm using a step bit here, and I'm just going to go till I get to the 3/4 mark and make sure the switch goes ahead and fits in the hole. So let's go ahead and get started with that. That should be close. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a test. Now we can go ahead and take our little nut off the back of our switch here, and we're going to go ahead and put it in our panel. Just trying to find the orientation of the switch so we can actually have the switch this way or this way. It's whatever you really prefer. Now we can go ahead and take our nut, put that on. Now don't over tighten this. No ugga-duggas allowed. Just snug it up so the switch is snug. Now we can go ahead and take our wire and plug it back in where we pulled them off earlier. Just make sure you got good connections. So we did have to install another switch. So let me explain what we're doing here. So the first one we did, this one here with the 4 wires, that's going to do 2 fuses. And this one's going to do a single fuse. So we've got to do 3 fuses in total, so that's why we've got the 2 switches. Obviously one with 2 fuses and one with 1. Now we're going to go ahead and put our panel back in. We're going to run these wires down to our fuse box here and just go ahead and put the panel in, and then we will show the connections going to the fuses. So before we go ahead and put that panel on, we do need to remove our fuses. So we're taking out BCM1, BCM2, which will go to the switch that has the 2 fuses, and then BCM3. We went ahead and removed the fuse that we needed to, and we're just going to insert it in the fuse holder in the single one. And then grab the double. Grab those 2 fuses, insert them. And we're going to just take our wires here and we're going to just toss them down towards the fuse box. You go ahead and take your screw and put it back in that panel. Now we can just go ahead and pop our kick panel back in. Might be a little difficult, but just kind of work it in there. You'll get it. Make sure you got your wires down by the fuse box hole. Now, we're going to make sure our switches here are actually in the tow mode position. So that's going to be with the dot out. So if I push it this way, that's going to be in drive position. I'm going to push it this way while we're plugging these in because that will keep those off. Now we're going to take our red set and that's going to go into one fuse location, and then our black set is going to go into the other fuse location. Now that we do have our connections made where our fuses were, we can go ahead and throw our fuse box cover on, and then all we need to do is go ahead and label our switches, drive mode and tow mode. This is what it'll look like when you are all complete. Now, just don't forget to go ahead and put your stickers on. Again, this was probably a weird circumstance that we actually had two, but just get your stickers on there, and just remember the dot is always drive, and when you have it pushed down to where the dot's not at, that is always tow mode. Once you get everything buttoned up, you get your stickers on, and that does complete the installation of our Roadmaster Fuse Bypass Switch on our 2010 Cadillac SRX. I'm Bruce. Thanks for watching.